Good. Yay! We made it! Hello, everyone. This is Crystal Wright. I am your host this evening. I'm also the host of the PYP Freelance Business Development Summit that's coming up April 18 through 20. Actually, it's coming up on the 19th if you're coming to the party, which, by the way, is something you can do whether you're registered for the PYP Summit or not. We encourage you to go to Reg Online. Well, we encourage you to go to pypsummit.com and click on the Register Now button. And if you would just like to come to the party, you should come and hang out because everybody's going to be there. Join me, please, in welcoming celebrity makeup artist and someone I can honestly call a friend. Not a fake friend, I mean a real friend, and that is Renny Vasquez, who also happens to be someone that I have an immense amount of respect for. Renny, welcome to the show.
Hi,
welcome
to. Thanks for having me.
You know, this is our first Google Hangout, Renny.
Yes, it is. Well, not really. We practiced earlier today.
That didn't seem to make a damn bit of difference.
I know it didn't. It didn't. But this is our first one. I guess it's live for everyone else to see. But Crystal, hold on one second. I have to post something on social media so everyone knows to click the link in my bio to join us.
Okay, great. That sounds awesome.
Hey everyone, join Crystal Wright and I. The link is in my bio, so click the link and join us live. So I'm just hitting next, share, and it's sending it to Instagram now. How are you? You look beautiful.
Well, Renny, you know, we were just having a conversation about my eyebrows, which are all jacked up all the time. It's funny because people sometimes think I'm a makeup artist. If they've actually ever looked at me, they're like, this girl can't possibly be a makeup artist. She looks terrible all the time.
Maybe I'll bring myself to the summit and do your makeup for you at the summit.
Renny, because you know you do my makeup once when we were working. How Renny and I met each other was that we were working together with Mazzani. I was on tour with Mazzani, and they kind of assigned Renny to hang out with me, and it was love at first sight. And I was fortunate enough to have Renny do my makeup once, and I will never forget it. I will never forget it. It was wonderful, and we all know now that there are lots of women in America who love the way Renny does their makeup. And we're very excited to have you here today, Renny.
I'm so excited to be here. So let me tell you, the crazy part is how we first met was I had did a makeup symposium at Bennett Career Institute. And I had won. I remember it was hosted by Sam Fine and James Vincent and Richard Pelzer, Valente Frazier, Danessa Myricks, and a few other artists. And when I was leaving, I kept hearing Crystal Wright. So I Googled you, found out about your fabulous book, and I called to order it. And when I called, you picked up the phone, and I fell in love with you then. So about a year, so I read the book, and I started working with Essence Magazine. At the time, I had got signed to Kim Barboza Agency in New York, and things were wonderful. So I started working with Mazzani, and when I started working with Mazzani, I was going into becoming an educator for Mazzani. And I had no clue why I was becoming an educator for Mazzani because I had no interest in hair. What I didn't know was that I was training to become an educator because later on I would be teaching my own makeup classes. Isn't that how that works? The dots started connecting. But while I was there, Mazzani brought you in as one of the speakers. And I stopped you and I was like, because you were there to train all of Mazzani's artists.
Right.
And I stopped you and I'm like, oh my gosh, I got your book. After I read your book, I got signed to an agent. Next thing you know, I was traveling the world. I was working with Essence Magazine. And Angela Burke-Murray was like my first celebrity client. And it just so happens that at the time, she was the editor-in-chief of Essence. And so I told you my story, and then Mazzani wound up pairing us together. So I got to travel the country with you.
Right.
And I was assisting you in your classes on marketing to stylists.
Right. Absolutely. And I'll tell you what I remember about that day, that very first day that we worked together. I had brought some hair, makeup, and fashion styling career guides with me for the students because I was doing the portfolio building and marketing class.
Yeah.
And afterward,
in your 30 days at 100%.
Right, and that's right, because Mazzani bought 30 days at 100%, changing your life 30 days at a time for all of the attendees. But I had brought these hair, makeup, and styling career guides, and at the end of the class, I was just saying, you know, blah, 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 you know, I brought my book, da, 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 and you said, excuse me, Crystal, do you mind if I talk to them? I said, no, go right ahead. When you finished talking to them, there wasn't a book left in the box.
I remember that.
Telling them how that book had helped you and how that book had really, you know, given you all the information that you needed for your freelance career. I left there and had to take orders for books because we didn't have enough. But that's a whole different thing. Let's stop.
That's amazing to hear. And you know, it's crazy. At that time, I think especially then, like, we didn't have social media.
Right.
Like, we had very low stuff on social media. I mean, that was the MySpace days, honey. If anybody can remember that.
It wasn't that bad, Renny.
It was, you know, MySpace and Facebook.
To MySpace.
Yeah, it was MySpace and Facebook.
Yeah. It really was a long time ago. But, you know, we're here to talk about you, Renny, not to talk about me. So enough about me. It's so weird for me sitting in front of this camera because I'm looking at my bangs and I want to do them. But if I do it, I'm like doing them the wrong way. But we're here to talk about you. And I would like you, we don't want to spend a lot of time talking about the past because you've been doing so many fabulous things. But for the people who are joining us who may not really know a lot about you other than the fact that they see your work on social media. Okay. I think a lot of people think that because they see your work on social media, because social media is so prevalent, and because people are starting to think that people get famous on social media.
Okay.
But the truth is, if you don't do good work to begin with, number one, it's going to be hard to get people to want to follow you. But also, you could have thousands of people following you and nobody hiring you at all.
Yeah.
Which is not the case with you. So I think that I would like to start with what the most important thing to you is, because you've told me, and it's really about relationships.
Oh my God, Crystal, it's all about relationships. I tell people all the time when they're like, well, how did you do it? They're so interested in developing a following on social media. And my first thing that I tell them that it's all about relationships. Even carrying into social media, it's all about relationship. Getting people with higher numbers to repost your work or to want to refer people to your page is about your relationship with them. It's about your relationship with the brands, and it's about your relationships with the bigwigs that are playing the social media game. So even with social media, it's about relationships. Right. Isn't that crazy?
Right.
But I tell people all the time, the crazy thing is that the truth of the matter is, if my page got deleted tomorrow, I would still be a working makeup artist. I was a working makeup artist long before Instagram, you know? But not for anything. Instagram has been amazing to me and in my career, and basically it's helped me to spread my wings even further, and it made my reach further. But the reality of it is that it was a lot of homework that went into the behind-the-scenes Renny before, you know, I turned into Renny with over 300,000 followers on Instagram. That was all years in the making.
Right, right. Well, and I think it's really important for people to know that. One of the messages that I keep trying to get across to artists, and it doesn't matter whether it's makeup, whether it's hair, whether it's fashion, or whether it's nails, is that you have to stop stressing out about what other people are doing on social media. Go
It's so
ahead.
true. You know, comparison is the first thief of joy. Like it robs you of your joy. It robs you of celebrating whatever it is you have going on right in front of you because you're concentrated on what Adam and Eve and whoever else what they're doing instead of worrying about you doing, what you're doing in the direction that you want to go in. It's crazy. It's funny enough. Let me tell you a story, Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a friend of mine, actually two girlfriends of mine. Both of them are in DC. Both of them are fabulous hair and makeup people. And both of them are pretty girls. And they were both calling me about an opportunity that they didn't get. They saw someone else get an opportunity and they were not really happy about it. And they wish they had that opportunity all for themselves. And they felt like that person got it because of social media. So I explained to both of them, I said, well, you know what? Both of you have the same opportunities. And I said, what did you guys do today to further your career? Like, what did you do today? Or what did you do today to get yourself moving on social media? And so the first one told me that she had brunch with a friend, and then after that, she had drinks, and then after that, she went home and took a nap. The second one told me, oh, I just don't have time for that. So I said, oh my gosh, I have to call you girls right back. And you know what I did, Crystal?
What?
I sat in the middle of the floor in my New York apartment and I started beating my own damn face. You know why? Because I was about to tell them how to compete with me. I was going to tell them that they needed to stop everything and sit down somewhere. And if you don't have a model to work on or a client in that moment, you can practice on yourself and post pictures and start building up from that point.
Right.
But in that moment, I couldn't deal with them comparing themselves to someone else. In that moment, I could only think about what could I do to move forward. So I sat down, I started painting my own face. And when I was done, I had over 5,000 likes and over 300 and something comments. So from then on, I decided, you know what? If I don't have a model readily available, and if you're not willing to fly in, Crystal, for me to practice on you, I'm going to sit down and do my own makeup and post some pictures of that.
And it absolutely works because it is about taking a step. It is about taking an action. It is about making something happen instead of being focused on what everybody else is doing. And when you and I talked about this in December, and I said that I wanted you to come to the summit, and I asked you, what would you like to teach? You told me you wanted to teach a class on social media, but I think what people they don't understand that you are not helter-skelter without any plan, without any idea of what you're doing. One of my sayings and a PYP saying is plan to work and work the plan.
I like that.
Exactly. And when you and I talked, one of the first things you mentioned as it related to social media was what? Having a plan.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It all starts off with, I like to say having a plan. The other thing that I like to say is your intentions. That's my word. I feel like our intentions really rule our life. So when I first started with social media, I have to say that my intentions were to share my path and what was going on in my world in hopes that it would help inspire somebody else. I had no clue it would turn into what it turned into.
Right. Right. Well, intentions are really our goals, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, intentions are goals. And I think, and one of the reasons that I wanted you at the summit was obviously because you're a person who sets goals, or or creates a path by setting intentions, by speaking your intention alive, but also because you understand how to teach other people. You know, we're not inviting people to come to the summit to sit in a room with you for 2 hours so you can talk about your fabulous life. That's not what it's about. Right?
Well, it ain't that fabulous, honey. You know what I'm doing? I'm cleaning wee wee and boo boo all day. So it's not that fabulous.
Right.
No, some days are more fabulous than others.
Than others, right? But see, the people see you on social media and all they think is about is the fabulousness. They don't know that you have a plan and that what you're going to share with them at the summit is how to put together a plan and how to move themselves forward in social media, which also means that they got to move their careers forward.
And Crystal, stop right there for a second. I love the way you said that. What people are seeing on social media is the fabulous things. Guess what? That's all anyone is showing on their page. So you have to keep in mind, before you compare yourself to the next person, they're not putting up all of their woes. And neither should you or anybody else. So remember, everything that you compare yourself to, you're comparing yourself to those person's highlights. Because we're only posting our highlights.
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody's posting their bad days on social media.
No, I didn't post a picture of Paris's poop from earlier. And see, that's the thing, is that no one's posting about, oh, I didn't get this job. Or, oh, my book didn't go out on time. Or this didn't happen for me. Or that didn't happen for me. You're only getting the highlights.
Right.
And that's why it's so important not to compare your every moment or your everyday nature to somebody else's best days.
Right. Exactly. I totally agree with that 100%. So, Renny, you know, I want people to have something fabulous from you.
Okay.
Like if you could think of one thing that if you would tell somebody to do one thing right now that could improve their social media presence, what would that be?
One thing to improve your social media presence.
Yeah. One thing to get you on the path to doing something new.
I would say, see, it's kind of a step-by-step thing for me. So they'll have to come to the summit to get that.
Right.
But what I will say is, one thing is to move forward and do something. Whether it's only following people, because see, that's a big part of it too. Following people that inspire you.
Right.
I got a thing for personal trainers. I'm just going to be honest. I follow a bunch of personal trainers, and I'm never at the gym. But most of the people that I follow on my page are people that I'm inspired by. So I would say, be aware of who you're following and why you're following them. That can help you a lot on social media. Because if you are just following the ratchetness and the funny stuff, then that's all you're filling your own brain with. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I would say really be aware of who you're following and follow people that are in the direction that you want to go in or that are moving towards the direction that you want to be in.
Right. So that's wonderful. What I wrote down was know who you're following and the why you're following them.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And see, that goes back to intentions. What were your intentions from following this person? Because I know what my intentions are for each and every person that I follow.
Right. Exactly. Who are you following and why are you following them? You know, a lot of times I think people confuse the words inspiration and motivation.
Yeah.
Motivation, right? Motivation is something that you have to keep going back to the well to get. You hear people say, I need something to get me motivated in the morning. I need something to motivate me. When what they really should be looking for is something that inspires them,
Absolutely.
because inspiration is the magic that fuels the engine of your life. If you
I
are
like
inspired, then you will have a reason to be motivated.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. It's so true. I know one time what really made me think about it too is one time I was having a bad moment. I was on social media and I saw somebody post some not so nice things about me. And I was on the phone with my mentor and I had told one of my mentors about it, and he said, "Why are you following that person anyway? You wouldn't even know if you weren't following them."
Right.
And I was like, wow, I didn't think about it like that. I wouldn't have a clue as to what's going on there. I wouldn't be able to let someone get me down or get in my way or, take, 5 good minutes out of my life to have me upset had I not even known what was on their page.
Right.
It's almost like a friend that brings you bad news all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Same kind of concept. And you receive that phone call, you allow them to pull you down. It's the same thing that when you're posting people that are not inspirational to you, you're allowing those seconds out of your life to just diminish.
Right. Well, it's interesting you say that um, about those people, because one of the things, oh my God, menopause. I just forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, it happened.
I just had a moment. I was like, you said something, and here I go with the bangs again. You said something, and I had a thought, and then you kept talking, and I forgot what it was, but it'll come back to me in a blinding flash of light. But I
It
think
will.
one of the things we're talking about here, or we're talking about creating standards for ourselves.
Mm. Okay, I like where that's going.
We're talking about
Um,
creating standards, because the people that you decide to watch should be the standard that you're aspiring to.
oh, I like that. I like that.
It's one of the things that I teach PYP grads in class. I'm like, if you're not putting the right stuff in your book, if you're not testing with the right photographers, it's because you didn't set a standard to begin with. If you don't have a standard by which you're measuring yourself and the work that you do, then you are inclined to work with anybody who wants to work with you, whether they're good enough or not.
And then it just becomes a waste of your time.
It becomes a waste of your time. So that when you're talking about social media and you're talking about the intention, it's like the standard is part of the intention. Why are you following this person? What does this person's work bring to your life? Does this inspire you? Does it make you want to look up? I believe we should always be looking up at at the best that we can be, at people who are doing what we want to do. It's not about copying them, but it is about looking at the standard that they've created and saying, I think that I can get to that standard with my own work.
Okay, I got to share something with you because this kind of falls in line with that. Earlier today, so I have a great friend in New York. His name is Nicky Jerome, and I met him through Sam. Nicky was one of Sam's assistants, and Nicky has been a total sweetheart and there for me since I moved to New York. And I can't tell you that this move would have never been as easy if it wasn't for him. I cannot imagine what this move would have been for me had it not been for having him in my life. But we hung out all day yesterday. I had just flown into town, and he had just flown into town. And he put up a post today on social media. Of course, I follow him because I'm inspired by him. But on the post, he says, thank you for exemplifying that real friends hold us accountable to our possibilities and what we're capable of becoming. That's right in line with what you were just saying. Following people or surrounding yourself with people that inspire you, you think what is possible, not necessarily copying or mimicking them, but
Right.
just surrounding yourself in that kind of energy of what could possibly become you, what could possibly what could you possibly invite next into your life and in your space?
Right. Right. That's exactly right.
I love it.
That's exactly it.
It's on another level.
Right. It's another level. And it's all really about getting to another level. I mean, the entire summit is about getting to the next level. And and there are classes at the summit for people at every different level. One of the things we've been trying to tell people is that you can come to the summit and just take one class if you want. You don't have to go for a whole day. You may find that there's an area in your life that you need to shore up, and we want you to be able to come and just take that one class. Come take one class with Renny. Come take one class. Come see the industry experts panel that your agent, E. Rodney, is going to be sitting on.
Yes, he is.
So many people. And Renny, you're going to join him on that panel.
I am. I'm going to join my agent on that panel. That is really going to be interesting because what I'm excited about too, let me tell you why I'm excited about that panel. Because I think everyone thinks that there is a cookie cutter way to kind of get into the industry. When the reality of it is that this industry is so huge. Like you could go into so many different fields. And my agent represents other artists as well who are very different from myself. And their careers were really different from my own. But he still embraces me and manages what I have going on. And he helps develop me more as an artist. Mm-hmm. So I'm really excited about that because agents and managers aren't exactly what they used to be years ago. See, I remember, in a past agency I was with, when I was told, I need these certain kind of pictures for my book, I need this certain kind of look, I should only be working with this particular model or doing this, that, the third, I needed to cut my hair like this, I shouldn't have my nails this way, I should, and I wasn't really happy. And what I realized was that at that time, they were trying to mimic me and make me like someone else who that was their path. And Crystal, you know me, girl. I'm all about creating my own lane.
Right. But and the thing is, everybody should be that way. And you're right. I'm doing a class called How to Get an Agent.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm doing a class called How to Manage the Agent That You Already Have. Because, come on now.
I would sign up for that one. No. Let me stop. I might be starting something there.
Well, I'm sure E. Rodney will be standing in the door of that class saying, let me see what she's telling people. But honestly, because here, I've met E. Rodney a couple of times. I met him a couple of times, and he's just a great guy. And the fact that he manages you, he manages Sam Fine, he manages Kaya Wright. Who else does he manage?
We have Jackie. We have Sonia Rodriguez. And can I tell you, it's so funny because everybody he manages is relationship based.
Well, and as an agent, he is
somebody.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was saying each person met him through someone else.
Exactly. And a lot, and that's the best way a lot of times is to meet somebody through somebody else. The thing that you have to know is that you and Sam, who I love, I love Sam Fine, and Kaya Wright, and everybody else, the three people that I know have very different personalities. An agent's strength is in their ability to manage all of those different personalities. You said there is no cookie cutter way to get into an agency, and good agents do not manage to a cookie cutter style because you're managing artists, which in and of itself means that every single one of those people is going to be totally different from another one. There's no way to manage Sam the same way he manages you or manage Kaya the same way he manages Sam. And so
Right.
that is an amazing thing. But the fact that when you look at E. Rodney's people are with him and they stay with him. That's very, very significant.
Yeah, yeah.
That's very significant. Well, one of the things about the class, how to manage the agent you have, guess what? Everybody didn't get an E. Rodney.
Mm. I
Everybody,
started to get it.
everybody
I
didn't
started
get.
to get it to start out with. I'm gonna tell you that now. I did not get an E. Rodney to start out with.
Everybody
But
didn't.
that's good. Because had I gotten E. Rodney, I probably would have never met E. Rodney. So everything happens for a reason.
Everything happens for a reason. But those artists that have agents, a lot of the artists that have agents are afraid of their agents. It's like a woman that has a hairstylist that won't leave her hairstylist.
Okay.
She hates what she's getting, but she won't leave.
Mm.
And so it's really important for artists to understand that they can manage and they should manage the relationships, because not every agent's a good agent. Some of them are just order takers.
All
Some of
right,
them,
Chris.
some of them just answer the phone. But enough about that. You are lucky. You got you got a good agent. You have a good relationship. And can you share something with us though? Why do you think your relationship with E. Rodney is so good?
You said why is it so good?
Yeah. What do you think? What is one of the things that makes that relationship so good?
Well, so I'll be completely honest with you. It's a relationship that goes way beyond, agent and client. It
Hmm.
was actually a friendship that was developed within that. And I think that's so important when you're working so close with somebody. I mean, we have to talk to each other all day, every day, you know.
Hmm.
Uh, and a lot of times, it's crazy when he comes to me with any kind of offer, any kind of deal, any kind of booking. He comes with a list of pros and cons with each job. Isn't that something?
That is what's up.
He doesn't even let the client know if I'm available or not until we've discussed a budget, until we've discussed when, where, how long, why. I mean, he needs to know everything before he even answers whether or not I'm available.
Right.
So, and the other thing is that, I think what makes the relationship really work, and I think what makes me very happy with him, is the fact that he really does have a vested interest into what's going on with me and my career. Not necessarily about what's going to make us the most money or what's going to make this week most amazing or anything. He is very interested also in relationships. Sometimes I don't remember if it's my client's birthdays or what's going on, but he does. He'll shoot me over an email. He'll send them flowers. Like he has a copy of my American Express card. So if I say, "Oh, send so and so a gift or whatnot," he is on it at all times. He knows my clients' birthdays. He
Oh,
knows if he just contacted me. One of my clients is about to have surgery on their throat. I don't know if it's a vocal cord or a throat or what it is, and he contacted me about that. And he, thought we should do something for the person. And I'm like, absolutely. I mean, he keeps up with everything. That man knows what's going on. And I'm like lost out there in the world somewhere. Like I'm like somewhere else. But he is very detail oriented and he cares, Crystal. That man really cares.
yeah. I mean, I can tell that he cares. And you can tell that an agent cares when an agent has happy artists that are not trying to get away from him or her. You guys are
Yeah.
not trying to leave him, and that's so important.
Yeah.
And that he has that relationship with you to call and discuss with you. I mean, that's the way I used to work with my artists. I would call them up and discuss it with them. You know, is this good? Is this bad? Should we do this? Should we not do this? These are the reasons I think we should do it. You know, and then you have to hear both sides in order to build a career. So, you know, those are some of the things that we're going to be talking about in the summit. Those are some of the things that you and E. Rodney are going to get to talk about, how your relationship works on the panel. Because I've got you and E. Rodney, and then I have another booker there from Brian Bantry with Julie Candelek, the manicurist. So it's going to be very interesting to have the agents and a couple of the artists there so that the people can really see how a good relationship works. Because what it will do is it will create a new standard for them in their own relationships.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
that would be awesome.
Won't that be awesome? So let me see here, because I think we have some questions from a couple of people. I know I got a question last night, so give me a second while I lean in here, because I have on the wrong glasses.
Are you, what you got on, your cute glasses and not your actual glasses
No,
that
no,
you should
no.
be wearing?
Listen, I have two pair of glasses. These are my long distance glasses, and somewhere in this house there are my little black ones that are my close-up glasses, but since I don't have them, I have to go like this.
Okay, okay.
Let's see what's on the screen. So hold on one second, because we want to make sure that we can take some questions from the audience. And we've got 48 viewers. I love it.
Oh, cool.
And okay. Comment tracker. Let's see here.
You guys can ask questions on my Instagram too if you want, if they're not able
There
to.
you go. Yeah, don't wait for me to get it together over here. Ask the question on Renny's Instagram, and we'll go with it. And I have a question here I got from a young lady yesterday, and I put it into the Renny Vasquez. Oh my gosh! You know, I love it when the technology does work, because I actually have a bunch of questions right here that have come in because I had them go into a folder. Okay. People want to ask you questions about makeup. We knew that. They were going to want to ask you questions about makeup, so we are going to take some of those questions. And one young lady by the name of Ginger Reed says, is there such a thing as messy highlighting and contouring? Do lines need to be sharp and precise? Does it matter since I'll be blending everything?
It really depends on the artist. I'm someone that even as I'm highlighting and contouring, it still has to look neat while I'm doing it. But that's just my way. I'm sure there are some people that could throw a highlight on and blend it out and it'd be beautiful. But I'm someone where I have to see nice straight lines as I'm doing makeup. So I would say there's always more than one way to skin a cat, but for me, the lines have to be neat.
Okay, great answer.
I think it's easier to blend out a neat line than a messy one.
Say what?
I think it's easier to blend out a neat line than a messier one.
Oh, very good. Okay, right on. We have another question here from a young lady named Michelle. And she says, I'm a newbie on Instagram and everything except Facebook and LinkedIn. I've also only been in business direct sales since October. Please share your top 2 to 3 hints for someone in my position. I'm sure there are many of us. You want me to read that again?
Yeah, so she wants a hint for what, building her following or something?
I think that's what she wants. She's a newbie on Instagram.
Number one thing is be persistent.
Oh, very good.
You have to be persistent with it. You cannot post something today and expect 1,000 likes tomorrow. Honey, I've been on Instagram now almost 3 years. I think it's almost 3 years. And you know, you just take it one post at a time. I've been fortunate that I think after my first year, I hit 10,000 following. I was so excited. And my second year, the 10,000 jumped to 100,000. And then it just started growing crazy after that.
Wow.
I would say the number one hint, or one of the number, it's not even a secret. It's with anything in life. If you
Oh,
want anything to work out, you have to be consistent. You have to keep working at it. You can't just, Crystal, it's why I'm still fat. I'm not consistent with dieting or working out, But what I am consistent with is eating good. So, hey, that's a whole
I
other story. That's a whole other story, though. If they
love it.
really knew our conversations,
Say what?
I said if they really knew our conversations.
Oh, yeah. We have some great conversations, don't we, Renny?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Yeah, we do. So let's see. I've got a couple of comments here. Let me see. Just some people saying, me too, can't wait for it to start. Hey, let's see. Oh, wait a minute. I can't leave this one. Hey, Renny, love you. That's from Patrick S.
Oh, I love Patrick as well. Patrick's an absolute sweetheart.
Really? Okay. And then, and then he says, love you, Renny, intentions. Yes, that was his second comment.
I'm telling you, intentions rule the world.
Intentions rule the world, exactly.
Let me explain something to you, too. A lot of time, your actions would show what your intentions truly are.
Well,
I'm almost afraid, Crystal, of people that constantly tell me what they mean, what they're trying to do, what they're about, what their intentions are. Because when you're constantly saying it to me and not showing me, what you're telling me is what you wish they were or what you wish for me to believe they are. Because your true intentions really come out in your actions. They really do.
well,
When you
Renny,
think about it, everything that you truly intended to do, did you not do it?
right. Yeah.
It may not always come out exactly how you expected it, but when you really think about it, we kind of walk in our intentions. Oh, I like that. Walk in your intentions. I need to do a t-shirt.
I love it. Oh my gosh, we could do a limited edition PYP Summit t-shirt and you
Walk in
could
your
sign
intentions.
them.
Get them printed. I love that. No, I mean, I really love that because it's so crazy how, because I think intentions are so much more than just a thought. It's a thought that stays in our mind, that keeps going, and that, our body is in process and we are walking in it.
Right. Okay, hold on. This is good now. I'm starting to get some questions from that
Okay.
are coming into my Twitter account. So I
Okay.
love it. Let me just bring it up here so I can see them. But what I was going to say, Renny, when you were talking about that was that, that's good old-fashioned wisdom. My grandmother used to say, actions speak louder than words. Actions are really the only thing that matters, what people are doing, not what they're saying, because that's like having somebody beat you and tell you that they love you. Their actions are anger, frustration, and all kinds of things, and that's really the only thing that matters. Actions speak louder than words. Let me get into the PYP stuff.
I got a couple of good questions too.
Oh, you did? Okay, well, why don't you read your questions out loud?
All right, so one here is questions. How do you go about finding an agency to help you go in the beauty industry as an MUA? Love your work, Renny. It's really easy. Here's the thing about an agent. I feel like you have to put in your work. Like you cannot just be working at a makeup counter somewhere, or like me, a lot of people don't know this. I started out in the side of salon, you guys. I was a shampoo assistant for, I call her my big sister now, but she's my chosen sister. Her name is Evie. I was her shampoo assistant for 13 years. And one day she took me to a photo shoot where Derek Rutledge was doing makeup, and I watched him, and I was like, oh my gosh, that looks like that's where the fun is. I think I want to do makeup. From there, I started buying all this makeup. I used my cosmetology license to get a discount at MAC. I bought a ton of makeup. I went and ordered Sam's book, and I started practicing. And my intentions were, one day, I want to be as good as Sam Fine. I want to do makeup like Sam Fine. And I would constantly practice. I know it freaked him out a little bit. Well, it didn't freak him out. But the other day I was unpacking some boxes because I still didn't unpack all my boxes yet here. And I found a scrapbook where I kept pictures from magazine articles that he had done, that I would go back and study how he connected the brow into the nose or the contour of the eye or how he highlighted a woman of color and whatnot. But I would just practice. And what wound up happening is I was doing different photo shoots and people saw my work. And my very first agent was Ken Barboza, and he had a lady that he was working with named Kathy Eastman, who was a wardrobe stylist. And I was working on set with her. He saw the pictures and asked who did the makeup. That was how I got my first agent.
Wow.
So it's kind of a thing of you still have to work your way up to that point. You can't just say, oh, you know what, I'm doing makeup. I just need to get an agent. You have to know why you want an agent. And you really have to know what kind of agent you want. And where do you want that agent to take you? What is it that you want that agent to say, I want an agent because I want to work in beauty.
Right. And the other thing that I'll mention about that is that just because you want an agent doesn't always mean that you're ready for an agent at the moment that you want them.
Or that the agent's going to want you.
Oh, exactly. Or the agent's going to want you. And I think people think that just because they've got 20 pictures in their portfolio that an agent wants them. But you still have to go back to the standards then. Do the images and the quality of the images in your book meet the quality of the images that those artists are already represented? I'm not talking about copying the artist. I'm talking about the quality of the imagery. I'm talking about one of the things about getting an agent is understanding your market, understanding the market that you want to work in, looking at an agent's roster and seeing, well, if the agent already has 5 artists that do exactly what you do, then you going to that agent, if the roster is full, means that you're probably not going to be able to get in there. So what hole are you filling?
Exactly. Crystal, I got a good one too.
Okay.
I have a couple of my last posts are people asking me about moving to New York. I like what this girl, I like what she said. Question for live chat. I'm wanting to relocate to NYC and start my wings artistry. It's all I think about from sun up to sundown. Honey, answered your question. If all you can think about it is sun up to sundown, that's what you're supposed to be doing. I love this. I finally decided that June would be my time to relocate. Enough dragging, procrastinating. What advice do you have for taking such a leap? And the question before that was very similar.
Okay.
Do it. Let me tell you something, Crystal. And I talked about it before, but I don't know if everyone knows. When I first relocated to New York, I was supposed to have a roommate. Mm-hmm. And the guy that was supposed to be my roommate, we were really close. He was living with me when I was in LA. And we came to New York, picked out the apartment together. In fact, when we got here, the person was like, you know what? I don't want to look at nothing else. I love this place. So I put down my money to move in. And I'm going to tell you this. When I put down my money to move in, I was left with very little after that. But I knew that it was something that I was supposed to do. Mm-hmm. Well, 2 weeks before that person was supposed to move in, all of a sudden the relationship got really weird. They like stopped communicating and everything. And I was like, wow, you know, what happened? So I reached out to them. I'm like, hey, this isn't like you. This isn't like us. What's going on? And he says, well, I didn't know how to tell you this. And I would have preferred to tell you in person, but I'm not moving to New York anymore. So in that moment, I had to figure out how the heck was I going to pay my new lease all by myself? Because at that point, I already moved in,
Right.
already put up the money, and I spent my house in D.C. too. So I was like, how am I going to do this? And I just decided I was going to give it to God. I was going to let go and give it to God. I feel like, and this is what I want to say to those people who are wondering if they should move. When God leads you to the edge of the cliff, you are to let go. Only one of two things that can happen. Either A, he's going to catch you if you fall, or B, he's going to teach you to fly. In my case, he taught me to fly. So anybody out there, whether it's you're thinking about moving to New York, Idaho, Atlanta, Los Angeles, anywhere, if it is burning inside of you and you feel like no matter what, you are supposed to do. See, what I had to realize, there was a reason why I told that story. Had I not thought that I was going to have a roommate, I probably would have never done it. I probably would have never, moved. But because that person, I thought that they were coming, it made moving a little bit easier for me. And I felt like God did that on purpose. It was like to get me to move, but then to show me, hey, you are to trust in me and not somebody else. So I would say whatever's standing in anybody's way or holding them back, just put your trust in God and do it. It's going to work out. I don't care if you have to rent a room out somewhere, sleep on somebody's floor, sleep on somebody's couch. Or you just have to live in New Jersey. If New Jersey is going to be cheaper for you or help you work it that way, where it's just one bus ride over, one train stop away, whatever it's going to take for you to do it, if you wake up thinking about it, if you go to bed thinking about it, then that's what you are supposed to do. Do it.
That's what I'm talking about, Renny. Just do it.
And don't look back.
Exactly. Because you get in deep enough that you can't do anything but swim.
Oh, yeah, honey.
That's
what happened to me.
That's how I feel about the summit. I'm in it now. It's 13 days away. What am I going to do? I'm going to show up there if nobody shows up there.
Yeah.
Right?
Hey, we'll just have a party.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to have some parties. Because, PYP, we believe in partying with a purpose. Party with a purpose. So a young lady says here, she has a question. I promised her this one would get up next. She says, first of all, she says she's learning so much tonight. And she says, Crystal, can you ask Renny, how do you find a good mentor? So you talk about that, and then I have something to say about that.
Okay, so to be completely honest with you guys, and I'll just put it out there, anyone that knows me knows that in my world, in my mind, Sam Fine was the holy grail when it came to makeup and where I wanted to go in my career, which was to work with women of color. I was very, from the start of my career, I knew that's the direction that I wanted to go in. And so what I have to say to that is Sam Fine, as well as James Vincent, as well as Derek, as well as Vanessa, and so many others, Kevin Kwan.
Ooh, all of a sudden our sound got bad. We've had perfect sound quality all this time. And Renny, you're frozen. So we're going to wait for you.
Can you see me now?
Oh, now we can. So you got to go all the way back. I don't know if you were still talking, but you had mentioned.
Are you back up?
Yeah, I'm here. I can see you. Can you see me?
Hold on.
Okay, I
Yeah, I
can
can see you. Can you
okay,
see me?
I can see you. You're frozen, but I can see you.
All right, you can see me now. I can see you clearly, and I can see you moving
Yeah.
too.
Okay, great. So
Okay.
go back because you were saying, you were talking about people like you said Sam Fine, you said Sam Fine, you said James Vincent, and
Uh,
go from there.
Derek Ratledge, Danessa Myricks, Kevin Aquan, and so many others. They were mentors in my mind and in my head long before I ever met any of them.
That's so good.
Does that make sense? I truly believe that I have mentors like Sir John on Instagram or just certain people, Ray Morris. Oh my gosh, she was mentoring me. I was going right through her page and I was being mentored earlier today, honey. It's like these people can mentor you right through their work.
We lost you again.
You lost me again?
Oh, but
All
you're
right, I can see
back.
you now. Okay.
You can.
Yeah, so
So you were
did
saying
you hear what I said?
meant. Yes, yes.
Yeah. People, they mentor you right through their work without ever having to ever really meet you.
Well, one of the things that I mean, I get this question all the time. How do I find a mentor? Will you mentor me? I think a lot of times people don't understand that mentor-mentee relationships are often organic and they grow out of something else. That sometimes it doesn't work just to walk up to somebody and ask them to be your mentor. Sometimes because you work with somebody or because you take a class from somebody, and in the taking of that class they see all the hard work you're putting in, and they start helping you and giving you advice. And just because they don't come out and say I'm your mentor does not mean that they're not your mentor. When somebody takes the time to school you about something, when somebody takes the time to give you advice, when somebody takes the time to pull your coattail, when somebody takes the time to comment on a picture that you have up, and because they made a comment, it helps you in some way, they are mentoring you. We lost our Renny. It says that we're live. Renny? I don't know about you guys, but I'm really enjoying this. I think I'm having more fun than you are asking the questions. We're definitely live. Here, I'm going to send Renny a text. Let's see. Let me send him a text. Uh, can you log out and log back in? Yeah, everybody was saying Renny was breaking up. I got a text. Thank you for that. Are you all enjoying this? If you can hear me and you're enjoying this, let me see you on social media. Let me see those hands go up. We're learning something on this chat. Okay, we're waiting for Renny to come back. He's logging out and logging back in. Do I need to send you a new invite? Let's see here. Okay, I hear something. Is that you, Renny? Totally the wrong glasses. Let me see. Hmm. Ah, look at that.
It's me.
Oh,
I'm back on.
you're back. Oh, somebody sent me a message and said, "Are you aware, Crystal, that we can't see Rennie, but we can see you?" Oh my gosh. No, I totally was not aware. Oh, you're back, Rennie, though. That's awesome. Let me see if I say, if I do that, can you now see Rennie? Okay, Rennie, are you there? Hello, can and I've got I'm not even a makeup artist, Crystal. But you're liking this? I love that. But I got to get my Rennie back here. Let me see. Hello? Let's see. No, that's not what I'm trying to see. Oh, you guys, I know this is just going so well. Oh, there you are, Rennie.
I'm back. Okay.
Okay, you guys, Rennie's back. Can you see
All right. I
him?
don't know what happened. Sorry about that.
Can you see him now? Okay, Rennie, listen, I've got a ton of questions here. I finally figured out how to get the chat up, so I'm going to start here.
That's probably what knocked me out was the chat. No, I'm joking. Oh,
I
so
don't think so. I
so
found,
going back to the thing about the mentors, I like what you were where you were going with that. It happens to be it happens in an organic relationship way, not a microwavable relationship, but an organic relationship that happens over time.
right,
And that was something, Crystal, to be honest with you, I had to learn about too. I would meet people on set or meet people in the industry and immediately thought that they were my friend. No, they are a colleague. They are somebody that you work with. And I would go through this thinking, oh my gosh, like we're the best of friends. No, 9 times out of 10, they were going through it thinking what they could get out of me.
yeah,
So I think it is really good to just let organic relationships happen and let it happen over time and just not rush and expect to just get things and to get places so fast.
right. Uh,
Shortcuts lead to dead ends.
you all are supposed, let me answer a question. Say that again, Randy. What was that? I think that was genius.
Shortcuts leads to dead ends.
Ooh, I got to write that down. Oh, wait a minute. This is recorded. Shortcuts lead to dead ends. I think that's very tough for this generation. I think that they live in a world where everything happens really fast. But the truth is, if they just think about it, there are some things that just don't happen really fast, and those are real friendships.
And also things that have see everything that's worth really having is worth waiting for. And not only that, you have to think about things that happen so fast. Do they last a long time?
Mm-hmm. No, they usually don't. As a matter of fact, okay, Can you guys see Renny now? You guys really love us to have sat through this whole thing and you couldn't even see him. I'm so sorry.
I love it.
I've got some questions, Renny. So let's ask, because I've got like 10 questions here. And I really appreciate that everyone's being so active. And Renny, you look amazing. You look amazing. I would rather have them seen you the whole time and not me with my little flyaway hair going everywhere. So here's a question, Renny. My partner and I have started a new beauty business in a market that is seemingly saturated. What are your recommendations for standing above the rest? Love your work, by the way.
I think it goes back to they have to realize what were their intentions when they first started their business, and stay true to whatever it is that they intended to do when they first started their business. They have to stay true to that and not worry about what's going on with everybody else. Worry about what makes them unique, and they are going to rise above the crop themselves, with just being exactly who it is that they are. And also knowing their target market. And whatever business you're in, you have to know your target. Oh, that's another one. Write it down. You have to know your target market. You have to have an idea of whoever it is that you're trying to sell yourself to, whether it's your makeup, your skincare, your hair products, you as a manicurist, you know, because not everyone is for everyone.
Right. And that's in everything.
Yeah.
In everything, not everyone is for everyone. And let me jump in here too. When you said know your target market, one of the things that I really want to get across to artists at the summit, and know your target market can be translated as know your customer.
Yes.
If you know your customer, you won't be freaked out by the fact that some other makeup artist is getting $35 to do a face. That's not even your customer if you're charging $500. It's not your customer if you're charging $150. But where people fall short, and I know your mouth is open and you have something to say, and I'm going to let you.
It's burning me up. It's burning me up over here.
But
it's burning me up over here.
Right, where people fall short is that they don't want to take the time to plan and do their research, which is part of understanding who your customer is, what that customer likes, what that customer doesn't like. And you cannot give a postcard that looks like an invitation to a party to the town and country girl who can afford to pay you $300 to do her makeup. You see what I'm saying? It's like the $35 customer is going to be attracted to that postcard that you created that looks like something for a party next week. But the town and country girl who goes to luncheons is not going to be attracted to that. So you have to know that your customer so that you can market yourself to them properly, and then so you can carry yourself properly. So you go ahead, Renny.
Neiman Marcus is not concerned about what's going on at Kmart.
Just like Ruth's Chris Steakhouse doesn't care that McDonald's sells hamburgers for $1.79.
No, they're not at all concerned about it. No. That I just summed up all that you just said with those little words. Yeah. Ruth's Chris is not concerned about what's happening at Burger King. They're just not. They're not. And you know what? And it doesn't, and let me clarify this too, because I don't want anyone thinking that I'm looking down on anyone, because guess what? If I got to get paper towels or whatever else, I'm going to Walmart, Kmart, or wherever. I do not think I'm any better than anybody. It's just a thing of I'm not concerned about what's going on at that level, because that's not a level that I wish to go back to. It was once upon a time that I started out at $35 a face. And then I moved up to $50. And then I moved up to $100. And then $250, and then $1,000, and then more. You know, so I said all that to say that, you know, it was once upon a time, and I got to tell you, I've had relationships that I've had since the $35 days that are no longer still active relationships, But what happened was we served each other best we could when we could.
Right.
But at this point in my life, those relationships, it came a time when I had to release those relationships for the next artist that was coming up.
Renny,
So,
Renny.
I got to tell you, I'm being completely honest with you. My feelings were hurt when I wouldn't get a call back or something would come up. But then when I realized was, just as my feelings were hurt, I was so happy when I saw someone else getting opportunities that I used to get from certain people from beforehand.
Right.
But I also had to realize that I'm not trying to go back.
Right. Right.
So it's like, well, what am I being mad at? What am I mad at? It's like breaking up with a man that you knew you kind of outgrew, but mad at him for dating the next person.
Right. It is exactly the same.
You can't not want him, but not want somebody else to have him too. No.
Right. Exactly. Move on. Move on. And let me say this. Let me just have a station break here. Listen, if you are listening to this conversation, then you are getting just a taste of what you're going to get from people like Renny and other people at the summit. The website to register for the summit is www.pypsummit.com. You should be getting over there right now because we have so much great information that we want to share with you that's going to help you take your career to the next level. If you can only register for one class, you need to sign up for that one class because you need to be in the presence of this kind of greatness at the summit. We have free classes at the summit. Get there. What'd you say, Renny?
Get your life at the summit.
Get your life at the summit. Exactly.
I love it.
I apologize if you guys can't see Renny. We can see him now, but can't see you. Great. I'd rather you see Renny than see me. Totally prefer that. Okay, let me see, because I got some other questions, and I know we're going over, but Renny, we can go into your...
Hey, I don't have nowhere to be tonight, so I'm having a good time.
Okay, great. Renny, do you have a plan of action to get on social media? For instance, do you set aside time to upload, or do you update as close as during the process as possible? Does that make sense? I think she's trying to figure out if you have a schedule.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Sometimes, yes. I try to put out content every single day. It's I call it feeding, like putting in that energy to the process. And, it really is a full commitment. But sometimes, I was at a photo shoot with Brandy a couple days ago. And I wanted so bad to post different pictures while we were on set, but the reality of it is that nobody wants to see you like this while you're on set. So sometimes you just have to wait and post later. So I try to be as current as possible with what's going on with me and share what's happening. But sometimes I have to put it off. Like I'm going to be posting a picture that I'm very proud of later on tonight. So, to answer that, yes, I do have certain times that I like to post content. I love sharing Sundays because I know Sundays is a good day. People are home. But that's what I'm giving away tonight about when.
Right. Exactly. Because what Renny has to share about social media, he's going to be sharing in the class. And these kinds of things do matter, the times that you post. I mean, Renny has actually been educating me. When we were talking about doing this hangout, and I was saying, well, I want to do it now. Renny's like, no, let's not do it now, because he has actually a better understanding about social media than I do, and that's why I'm not teaching the social media class. I'm teaching the class on how to get an agent and how to keep an agent and portfolio building, because that's my forte. So I've got some more questions in here, Renny. I mean, I've just got a ton of... I've got a ton of things coming in here. Let me see. Woo! Okay, new activity on the Hangout. Oh, Vanessa's Beauty Bar says, this is so encouraging.
Oh,
Carissa,
thank you. I'm so happy about that.
Carissa,
That's all I want to do. Let me just tell you this. When I go to bed at night and when I wake up in the morning, I ask God to use me to help somebody else. That is really what I want out of life. I feel like we are at our best when we are helping see someone else through.
right,
So thank you to whoever is encouraged. That is what my purpose in life is. So
right.
thank you.
Carissa says, so glad you are doing this. Fab Glitz and Glam says, I can hear you, Crystal. Loving it. Somebody in Trinidad, Afisha Salim says, loving it and learning so much from Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes, I've been to Trinidad and Tobago. I like it there.
It is a great place, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, Camila Bravo says, hey, no, we can't see Renny, but I'm glad he's back.
Oh, okay.
But that was a while ago, and I think people can see you now.
Okay. I'm gonna look and see what questions I have too. Okay.
Yeah, look and see what questions you have. Oh, Angelina Wedderburn says, hi, I worked on film and TV. I want to do so much more. Where do you recommend I find a great agent? Well, we've been talking about that. There are lots of great agents, but whether or not there is an agent, which agent is right for you depends on what you do and the way you do it. Now, one thing I want to share with people who do film and TV is that, one of the things about film and TV a lot of times is people give up on their portfolios. And if you don't have a portfolio, most agents work with artists who do print, television commercials, print television commercials. I don't even say video anymore because there's so little video. But, a lot of stuff on the web and e-commerce. So if you are a film and TV artist, there are a few agents that do represent film and TV artists. And if you have the hair, makeup, and fashion styling career guide, in the agency section, it lists which agents represent people who do film and TV. So if I were you, I would start there, and you can get the career guide on iTunes for the iPad, or you can get the print edition. So there's a little advice for you there. Kimberly Joy.
Crystal, stop for 1 second. I'm sorry. Let me not pause you like that. Forgive me.
No, go ahead.
But what I do want to say is, for anybody that is watching this, if you feel like you don't have the money to come to a summit or to come to the actual P5P class, do something. At the very least, get the book. At the start, everybody has to start somewhere. So I would say, I think that book is very game changing for a lot of artists. And not only that, it's for everybody. It can help with people that just do bridal. And I want people to know this too. Let me tell you something. Bridal can be a booming business. Not everybody is going to be a celebrity makeup artist.
Right.
It's not going to happen for every single person. And that's okay. If in your market bridal is the way to go, then goddamn it, be the best bridal artist you could possibly be. Turn those brides out. I was doing very well in the DC metropolitan area on bridal parties. And guess what? Wait for it. Renny Vasquez still does bridal. Ask Rodney. Let me tell you something. If you have the budget and a first class ticket, I'm there.
I love
But I started out doing brides for $125. It is enough work to go around for everyone. So do not be discouraged. Stay encouraged and work your stuff the best way you can.
Exactly. At the summit, we have Erica Carr doing a class on the bridal business, and then we also have
Rodney sit in her class.
I really.
He's gonna kill me. No, I mean, I love bridal. I do.
Right. Um, I have a young lady who says, Renny, you are Kimberly Joy says, Renny, you are dropping some pearls of wisdom tonight.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, she says you are dropping some pearls of wisdom tonight. Let me see what else I have here. I know you have some questions. Oh, I did ask that young lady's question about the being a little bit messy. Ginger, they did it already. You missed that. So I've gotten through all the questions that I have in. What I wanted to say was, in terms of we have two bridal classes because I think it's really important that people get two different perspectives. So we have Erica Carr and we have Ann DeMarco teaching bridal classes at the summit. So get over to pypsummit.com and register for those two bridal classes. They're both happening on different days. You can go, you can come back, and you can hang out with us at the Party with a Purpose event.
You
so
know
Ray,
what?
You had some questions, right?
Yeah, and you know what, Crystal, too? I just want to tell you thank you for that because I feel like sometimes that's lost. People get so caught up into how to work with celebrities, how to work in film and television, how to do this, how to do that. And what they forget about is how to make money in your own backyard.
Yeah.
Money inside those clients' kitchens. If you have to go to their kitchen to do their makeup or do their makeup in their powder room, where, I think that's not celebrated as much in our industry. And I think it very well can be. I know several artists who are six-figure and above artists doing weddings, bar mitzvahs, birthdays, quinceañeras, and whatever else. And they are making a great living at it. Right. They really are. So I want to thank you for that. You're not forgetting. You're really including everyone in this.
I am including everyone.
You have to do this, or you have to do that. Right. And I think the big message that I really want to go out there to people is that it doesn't matter who you're doing makeup on. I still do makeup on the everyday woman. I love it. Sometimes, to be honest with you, it's more fulfilling for me to do a bride versus a celebrity. And you know why?
Why?
Because when I finish an everyday woman, she is excited. She's never felt so beautiful. She appreciates it. When I leave one of my celebrity clients, they expect it to look exactly how I make them look. They expect nothing different than that.
Right. That is amazing, Renny.
Yeah. So I really celebrate you for doing this because not everyone thinks about that. They don't think about and what happens is I think we're in a world now where people could be discouraged because I'm gonna tell you now, and I don't want nobody to get mad at me for saying this, but you would have a bride pay more money than you would a real housewife of any particular city. That's no shade to anybody. But, I think sometimes people compare themselves to someone that's doing makeup. I've worked on the sets of Love and Hip Hop. I have. And I got to tell you, there's more money to be made doing bridal in your own backyard than there is doing makeup for some of these television shows.
Yeah, because I think people forget that there are A, B, C, D, and E level celebrities.
Oh, don't you start that.
That not everybody is an A level celebrity. And some people think they're celebrities before they become celebrities or think they're celebrities and they never actually ever get to that level. But they think they have an expectation that they're doing you a favor by allowing you to do their makeup or their hair or their clothes, and that is simply just not the case.
You know what? And I'll say this. I recently did I did the Love and Hip Hop reunion for New York. And I will say the young lady that I did for that particular show, she was an absolute sweetheart. And she saw value in me and paid me out of her own budget. She created her own budget, not necessarily the budget that was coming from VH1. And I hope I don't lose a job because of this, but I mean, it's okay if I do. Clearly, Rodney would be okay with that. But it's like, I just want people to understand that don't compare yourself to what you see other artists doing, and that there is a way of you making it in your own backyard. And I hope that I stress that part out. I hope that people
Yeah.
really got that and not got that. I wasn't trying to throw any shade to any of the shows or any of the other stuff. I'm just trying to explain to people that you can make money doing makeup in your own backyard.
Well, and you know, from the moment I first started in 1999 doing my packaging your portfolio workshops, they were never supposed to make people all want to come to LA or all want to go to New York. Everything that you learn in the hair, makeup, and styling career guide is about creating a market wherever you are. You know, and the summit is the same way. We're going to meet you wherever you are. We've got people coming from Iowa, coming from Atlanta, coming from Florida, coming from Los Angeles. They're not coming so that they can work in New York. They're coming to get the knowledge they need to go back to their markets, whether it's Maryland, DC, Iowa, wherever it is, and take that information and to be able to utilize it to make money. And
Yeah.
and we want them to understand exactly what you've been saying, which is you don't have to put all your eggs in that celebrity basket. It's just not even about that. Holly Mae Schultz is coming from Minneapolis, Minnesota to do a class on commercial photography and knowing how to work for Target, knowing how to do things like lay downs, which I didn't even know what that meant. People get paid to fold jeans. They get flown all over the world because they do a better job than somebody else at folding jeans or folding t-shirts that get photographed. We want to open up the gamut of possibilities for artists to understand that if there's something that you're good at, if there's something that you love, there's a way to make money at it, and we're going to show you at the summit.
I love that. I love it.
So I have another couple of questions here. One young lady, Daniela Reese, says, how did you build your team? Renny, you spoke about your manager, but how did you start off doing freelance?
Well, when I was working inside the salon, I actually would stay later. We would go to work on Saturdays at 6 o'clock in the morning, and we would be finished about 3 or 4. And I would stay into maybe about midnight doing makeup on whoever would let me do makeup on them. So I practiced and I practiced and I practiced until my name got bigger and bigger and bigger and got out there. And to be honest with you, my team was just people that I met over the years that we started a relationship with. That we started a relationship and it just grew. You know, like my assistants or people that work with me, some of them you know, Crystal, like Kenyatta, for instance, she was someone that I met at a class that I was teaching. Actually, what happened was she called me for advice one day, and I gave her some advice. And then she attended one of my classes, and at the end of the class, I couldn't get rid of her. She stayed and was assisting me with cleaning up and everything. And, you know, I felt like, oh my gosh, I could at least take her to dinner. So I took her to dinner, and over time, we became friends. Now she goes on family vacations with my family. She's Paris's godmother. Like, you know, it was a relationship that happened over time. And the same thing, okay, so people want to know how I got Rodney. So let me tell you, and this is one of the reasons why I love that man, Sam Fine. Sam Fine referred Gabrielle Union to me. After referred Gabrielle Union, other celebrity clients came rolling in, like, you know, Brandy, Queen Latifah, with MC Light, and so on and so forth. And what wound up happening was I was so new to this, and I was no longer working with my first agent. So I didn't know what to do. So Sam was actually negotiating deals on my behalf for me. Some of the deals that he would negotiate would be deals that he was up for as well.
Mm-hmm.
And he would do them in such a way that I would have an opportunity. So what wound up happening is, at some point, I was still emailing him like stuff that would come through and forward it to him. He's like, "Look, boy, let me introduce you and E. Rodney through email." And that's how E. Rodney became my manager. Sam introduced us through email, and I just so happened to be flying to New York for a photo shoot. And E. Rodney came to the photo shoot, met me there, and I signed my deal, and that's how he became my manager.
That is a great story, and I didn't know that story.
Yeah.
That's a great story. You talked about three things. One of the things that you talked about when you talked about, you talked about the organic nature of those relationships, the organic nature of how you became Kenyetta's mentor. That's what you just told them. That's really what the organic nature. She came to a class, she met you, she just stuck to you like glue, and you took her to dinner. And I can't tell you how many times that very same thing has happened to me. I look up and there's some artist and I can't get rid of them. Just can't get rid of them. And then the other thing you said was, essentially, you talked about giving more than you get. Look what Sam was giving. You know, a lot of people don't know this about Sam, but he's very, very, very much that way. And I'm going to say this out loud because, you know, I've been doing these packaging your portfolio workshops for years. And Sam, whenever he has been available, he has sat on my panel. And I always pay my panelists. Do you know he has never taken a check from me? I had to go and send him a gift certificate that arrived at his house because he would take nothing from me. He tells people about the class. That's who he is. And when go ahead.
I have a very similar story. He had negotiated a deal that was rather big. To this day, it was one of the biggest checks I had ever gotten. And when I got it, I was like, wow, you know, thank you. And I remember I reached out to him. I wanted to give him a percent. I mean, he brokered the deal.
Right.
And he would not accept anything from me either. He's never once, anything that he's referred me to, he won't. That's just who he is.
That's right. And that's why he has so much.
Now, we're giving so much Sam love today that his inbox is going to be flooded. I'm going to have to call him and tell him about this love fest.
It is a Sam Fine. We're having a Sam Fine love fest up in here.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, I have another question. And that was, what would you say to someone starting out in makeup, like people like my work but don't want to pay? You say something, then I got something to say.
People like her work, but they don't want to pay.
You know what I have to say to that? Then it's the wrong customer. You need to find another customer.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wonder who she like marketing herself to. You know, let me tell you this. I had a lady call me the other day. Okay, so I was flown to San Francisco to do some work. And while I was there, I have my real number posted on my Instagram because I had Rodney's and he was just getting all kinds of crazy calls. But I think it's so important. I like to make it very easy for people to get in contact with me because I've gotten some pretty major people that have called me from just saying my number on Instagram.
Right.
So I've gotten really major opportunities from that. Mm-hmm. But I know one time in particular, oh my God, I just lost my train of thought.
Oh, menopause.
Crystal, did you ask me your menopause?
I'm telling you.
Where was I going with that?
I don't know, but let me.
I know where I was. Okay, I'm back. Oh, I'm back. I got it. I got it back fast. So what wound up happening is here I was being flown to San Francisco to do a job. I was put up at a fabulous hotel, all that great stuff. And while I was there, my phone rings, and it was a young lady saying that she needed her makeup done for a wedding. And I said, okay. I said, well, are you going to the wedding? Are you the one getting married? Are you in the wedding? She said, no, I'm just going. I said, okay. I said, well, this is what the price starts at. You can reach out to my manager. And before I could get the rest of it out, she said, stop right there because I am not paying that much for makeup. And I said, okay, you have a great day.
Exactly. Because that wasn't your customer.
And I was not offended. I wasn't offended by it. I wasn't tripping about it. I was okay with it.
And you know what I have to say? And let me say something about that. As an artist, the reason artists stay so concerned about the jobs they lose is because they are not consistently marketing themselves to the customers that are out there that are looking for them. They are not. This is one of the things that we are trying to do for you at the summit. The theme of the summit is transforming artists into stylepreneurs. What is a stylepreneur? A stylepreneur is someone that is as serious about their business as they are about their art. You cannot sit in your house waiting for the right people to come to you. I say this all the time. I say it every time I go to a show, and it doesn't matter whether it's makeup, whether it's hair, or whether it's styling. Some of you need to recognize that the last thing you need is another tube of lipstick, because you are not making enough money with the lipstick you already have in your kit. And it's time to get some business savvy and some business sense and some marketing sense to go along with that kit so you can actually make some money. There's not a reason in the world that a makeup artist cannot do makeup full time, that a hairstylist cannot do hair full time.
Yeah.
But you've got to add some business savvy to your skills so that you can make money with your art. That's all I have to say about that. Renny, you're on.
Crystal, I just got into it with a really good friend of mine the other day because she wants so bad to do makeup full time. And so she started telling me about how she had some kind of opportunity or something she was going to do, and it was going to cost her a whole bunch of money to do it. And I asked her, I said, well, did you ever think about you could take that same money and organize your very own marketing campaign, do your very own photo shoot? And she was like, huh? And I said, girl, how you friends with me and you don't know this stuff? Like, how do you let that skip past you? But it's someone who I love dearly. But I think sometimes we don't think past what's going on in that moment. Or sometimes we think that sounded way too easy. And because it really is, I mean, it's easy, but then it's not. You still have to put in your work. You still have to put in the time. But sometimes it just sounds so simple that people want to make it a lot harder than what it is.
Well, let me say this to you. Let me respond to what you just said. When you said it was easy, what I have to say is easy still requires execution.
Oh, I like that.
And consistent effort. And that is where people fall short. They think about it, but then it requires execution and consistent effort.
You know what? I just want to go ahead and watch something for everyone that's watching right now anyway. One of the things that I share when I teach my classes are a lot of people say, well, I'm not getting the kind of pictures that I need from photographers. I'm not getting the stuff to market myself. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. And I say to them, did you ever think about hiring somebody to get exactly whatever it was that you needed? And they go, oh, for instance, if you need great beauty shots, then contact a photographer that does great beauty shots. Find out what they charge for a test shoot. That was one of the very key ways I went about building my career in the DC, Maryland, Virginia, in the DMV. Mm-hmm. What I did was I went after photographers that were really well known and that did great work, and I only had to pay them one time. After that, they were willing to shoot my work for free. See, the thing is that anybody working with, a lot of times is going to already have their own team. How you get your foot through the door is being willing to pay for one photo shoot. Not only that, what happens is they appreciate the fact that when you reached out to them, you didn't reach out talking about donating your time, talking about time for print. You reached out to them trying to pad their pockets. So guess what? How you start a relationship is how you're going to keep a relationship. So now moving forward, anytime they reach out to you, they're going to be referring work to you.
Right. And that's a great way to look at it.
And you know what? That goes with anything. I know, Crystal, you and I have our own relationship, and you make yourself available for me when I need to talk or I need advice. But I do also know you have something where people can actually buy blocks of time with you, where they can actually talk to you and have that. Because some people need a one-on-one. Some people need a kick in the butt to get them moving in the right direction.
Right.
So even if it's not with you on that, I said all this to say that if it's something that you do not do, don't let that hold you back. Find somebody who does, and if you have to pay them a couple bucks to do it, then it's worth it at the end of the day. Think of it this way. How much is it going to how much is it going to cost you not to start living your dream today?
Ooh, that's a good one. How much is it going to cost you not to start living your dream? Well, I have a saying that people who don't live their dreams, people who don't give it a real shot, they all end up being bitter 55-year-old women who go around telling other people that they can't do something because that person didn't have the balls to see it all the way through.
To even try it, or to even try it.
Right.
But it's as simple as that. I know for a while I wanted to start YouTube. Mm-hmm. Now, there was a reason. I don't know if I ever told you about that. There was a reason why it just never worked out for me to be on YouTube. But one day I actually got smart about it. And I was like, gee, I don't know how to edit videos. I could just find somebody who loves doing this and pay them, some lunch money or whatever to help me out and do videos for me. There's always going to be a student somewhere or somebody else who needs help doing something. And if we're all supporting one another, everyone's able to keep moving. So I said that you're not somebody, if doing bridal is not working out for you because you don't have time or you're not willing to write up a PDF file that has your pricing on it, then find somebody and pay them $50 to do a PDF file for you.
Well, and listen, nowadays you don't even have to spend $50 because you can go to Fiverr, Fiverr.com, and get it done for $5 or $10. So we really don't.
Well, you better give it to There you go. You know what? If you don't have a website, let me tell you something. Nobody who is on, anybody that's watching this right now should not have a website. Like, you need to have a website.
Right.
And having a website nowadays is just as easy as being on Facebook.
Yeah, it is. It's as easy and as simple, and we're going to be talking about all of that at the summit, and I've got some amazing resources for people to get websites, and I encourage you right now, if you don't have a website and you're coming to the summit, do not pay a web designer to do your site. It's really not that serious. There are too many amazing formats out there. If you're spending more than $12.99 on a website, you're spending too much. You're spending
wait a minute.
way too much.
I'm spending $20 a month. So maybe I need to be in that class.
No, you can spend $26 a month. Really, it goes from $6.99 up to $39.95, and that's some of the information we're going to be sharing at the summit. So if you're not there, then what you're doing is you're leaving your money on the table, and you're leaving your opportunities on the table, because we are giving up all the secrets at the summit. We're not holding anything back. Let me see, Renny. I think I have another question. We're going to do 2 more questions, and then we're going to close it.
Okay.
Okay? So let me see. What do I have here? I have we both look amazing, but that's not a question.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Let's see.
I did take a bath today, so that feels good.
You did what? You took a bath?
Yeah. Well, I knew I was going to be on this live.
Somebody said, Crystal Alexander said, I absolutely love that Neiman Marcus isn't worried about what is going on at Target. Transitioning back to New York City after college, I've encountered plenty of people who love my work but always back out once the price list is presented. How should I fix that? Well, I think we already covered that.
Yeah.
I think we really covered that on another question. You know, it's about.
I will say this though. It's important too to know the market you're in. Like, in other words, you want to know what area that you're in and what the local artists around you are charging for certain things. And me, like for instance, when I was living in DC, I wanted to know what everyone was charging for a do and go. You know, to go to someone's house, do their makeup, and leave.
Right.
Whatever they were charging, I wanted to charge $50 to $100 more. That was marketing for me. In order to find out why I'm charging more than the next person, I guess you have to hire me to find out.
Woo!
And some people, but I couldn't charge $500 more, $200 more. You get what I'm saying? But
right.
I think $50 to $100 more is enough. Right. That's enough to raise the eyebrow. Right. With curiosity, because now they want to hire you. Oh, if you cost a little bit more, then I wonder what it is you're offering. Well, you'll have to hire me to find out.
Exactly.
So I think that's important. Or if she feels like she needs to be paid way more, then she might want to move to a bigger market.
Very nice, very nice. And our last question of the evening is a very simple one from Melissa Colon or Colin. Will you be doing a makeup class in Chicago in 2015?
Yes, I will. I'll be doing a makeup class and photography. Chris, I didn't tell you what I was doing.
No, tell me. Tell us all.
So, you know how I've sent you my photography pictures in the past. And I've already shot a couple celebrity clients of mine. That will be going up soon. And I'm about to shoot someone big, big, big. I'm so excited about that. That shoot's going to be coming up soon. But what I'm doing in the classes now is for everyone that says, you know, a lot of people don't know, what they don't know about me is that I'm somebody where when it's not working out, I will find a way. See, I don't accept no. I just figure out another way to get what it is that I want. And see, it was hard for me to find the photographers and whatnot that I wanted to work with while I was traveling. So what I did was I went and got me a camera and I shooted my own pictures. So what I'm doing right now, my series of classes that are going on right now is that I do a live makeup demonstration and then show them how I shoot my models at the class.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Then they have the options to do a hands-on training and another option to do their very own photo shoot. So this year, I will be going to Chicago. I will be going to Houston and Dallas. And I'll end the tour in New York because that's where I live at now. I'm starting it in DC on the 12th. That's sold out in less than 24 hours. The
Wow.
next one after that is Toronto. Oh, this year I'm actually going international. I'm doing Toronto and I'm doing Barbados. The Barbados government contacted me, and the actual tourism department of Barbados contacted me, and we're putting something amazing together for Barbados. It's going to be huge. So, answer that, yes, I'm in Chicago, and it's going to be something so brand new and so innovative. I cannot wait to share all that I have to share this year.
That is amazing. Renny, thank you so much for getting on here with me this evening on an Easter Sunday evening. I'm sure tons and tons of people are going to watch this. For those of you who are thinking about coming to the summit, if you're sitting on the fence, get off of the fence. Renny's class is going to be on Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. at the Crown Plaza Hotel in White Plains, New York. You can find out about Renny's class and about a lot of other classes if you just go to pypsummit.com. If you're trying to put together a schedule of classes and you need some help, you can call and you can talk to us here at 323-299-0500. We are so happy to help you with your schedule, help you put together just the right classes for you. And I just want to say again, thank you, Renny, for making the time. I know how busy you are. I appreciate you supporting the summit. I appreciate that you believe in what I'm trying to do here to educate artists, makeup artists, hairstylists, fashion stylists, and photographers. And we will see you in White Plains, New York. Are you going to be at the party Friday night?
I think I am. I think the party is on Friday night. I believe I am. I think Wright and I are going up together, actually.
Okay, great. Well, if you want to come to the party, you can register just for the party as well at pypsummit.com.
We should have a dance contest. We should have a dance contest.
A dance contest?
At the party.
Well, I'm so glad you said that because we have been working on some of those kinds of things. We're doing a what do you call it? A karaoke party one night. We're creating lots of ways that we don't want to just leave it up to people to network. We've got prizes that we're going to give away. For people who are doing a great job of networking. We want to incentivize you, and when I get off this call tomorrow, I'm going to call Renny, and we're going to talk about a dance party at the summit on Friday night. Be there or be square. This is Crystal Wright, your host of pypsummit.com and PYP Summit TV. Visit our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/C/PYP Summit TV to see this video and a lot of our other videos, and we are signing off.
I can't wait. Bye, everyone.
Bye.